Well, how's that for an opening this morning? Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday in the park. I think it was the 4th of July. Old Chicago lyrics there. Think about that for a second. You're in a park and you think it was the 4th of July. I've never been in a park and not known whether or not it was the 4th of July, but hey, that's just me. So, what are you doing, Tony, T-Bone, TK, whatever name you want to call me? I am working on my OBS skills, and in order to do that, I can only play with myself so long. I have to I have to do some other things. So you saw I had an opening sequence there. That opening sequence I've had before, and it was animated in the past. This thing right here. Oh, look at me and Chick Brew there. It's just little old me talking to you about this week as it is. As usual, I I encourage your participation. You jump on there, you say a little something, and I say a little something to you. I gave you a lead in this week. I don't normally do that. Well, I don't normally do this, but I gave you a little bit of a lead in to let you know this that I was coming in hot. Because my friend Marla was upset last time that she didn't have a heads up that this was going to happen. So I did that this time. I gave you a few minutes to get yourself ready for a full dose of me. What did we do last week? Well, we talked about the news for a little bit. That's a part of the Lunsby show. That's something that we do. Christina, she gives me a headline or two, and I see if I can mine it for some humor. But on these, we're just talking about the news, and I don't have anybody to bounce anything off of except you. So what happened in the news this week? Well, big thing. For the first time ever, a Speaker of the House was technically fired. Well, of course, that happens every time they are not reelected or they lose their seat in the political aspect. But this was mutiny, sedition. It was not. It was something that I believe, again, my own personal opinion, was something that was long overdue. They said last January that they were gonna get when they hired or made him Speaker of the House. There were some conditions that things would get done, and those things were not getting done. And then, we start dealing with funding again, and we start dealing with running out of funding and stopgap and continuing resolutions. And once again, they make these promises, just give us a little bit now and we'll fix it later. And then we give them a little bit now, and they never fix it later. In every one of these things, you see the leader of the opposition cheering gleefully, two thumbs up, excited. You know you're getting a raw deal. And if you're in charge and your opponent is two thumbs upping all of your dumb decisions, eventually somebody needs to be held accountable. And that's the thing that doesn't happen very much anymore in American politics. Nobody is held accountable. George Buffett, not Jimmy. Jimmy's dead. Rest in peace. Love me some Jimmy Buffett. George Buffett. He's the big money guy, right? He said he could fix all of our woes if we could just tie congressional terms to the balancing of the budget. It is their job by law to create a budget every year, and they have not been doing their job for years and years and years. So it is good to see somebody was finally held accountable and dismissed. It is going to be interesting who they choose to select him. I found out, and I think you found out along with me, nobody knew that you didn't have to be in the Senate to be the Speaker of the House. Nobody knew that. It was an unwritten rule, or a written rule that none of us read, an unread rule. So I hereby put my name in the hat to be. No, I do not. I would not do that. It is an insufferable position to be in charge of adults. I no longer, in any aspect of my life, want to be a professional cat herder. And Speaker of the House is definitely a professional cat herder. And you got to be good at it. So you got that going on in your highlights this week. Any other news that you're thinking about out there that you want my take on? Just put it into the comments. I got my one thumbs up and my one viewer. I hope that's you, Marla, because I want it to be you. That's why. Here we short of, and again, I am promoting my friend show that is on this time tomorrow. His name's Johnny Millwater. He does singing and he does poetry and he does Shakespeare and he does monologues. He does and he interacts with me because I'm the only one watching live when he's doing it. But Johnny Millwater, befriend him. Very funny comic, and check out his show, Johnny Millwater's Happy Time. That's Sunday starting at 11. It is a fun time. Oh, hey, I'm loving you so much for loving this so much. Thank you for that wonderful comment. Hey, this week in history, here we go. Are you ready for this? Makes it sound more official when it's on paper. In 1927, a rock band. What is it? What's a rock band? What is a rock band that doesn't play any instruments? It's a dad joke. It's Mount Rushmore. Yeah. So Mount Rushmore out there, 1927, the first demolitions began. That's when they started making that happen. 1974, American Dave Kunst, got to pronounce that one right, is the first to navigate the globe entirely on foot, raising money for UNICEF along the way. 1974. 1961, President John Kennedy urges Americans to build bomb shelters in the event of a nuclear exchange with the USSR. John Kennedy, 1961. 1983, I really wish I could do this voice. Sean Connery returns to play James Bond in Never Say Never Again. Connery had recently said that he would never play 007 again. Oh, there's your second story of the week. Build that wall. In the month of September, they had over 7 million immigrants come through the southern border. The border states are playing a game of chess here, three-dimensional chess. They're taking these migrants and they're moving them to sanctuary cities. And finally, these people in the sanctuary cities are saying, hey, fix that problem down at the southern border. Something's wrong. And we don't know how to fix the problem down at the southern border. Do what the last guy did. Do that thing. And they're starting to do that. So I tried to give you 2 news stories, and that was your second news story of the week. My take on the second news story. Who, I ask you, listeners now and in the future, who was your favorite James Bond? And because this is going to be fun, who was your least favorite James Bond? I instantly know the answer to both of these questions, and I'm not a Bondy, whatever, a Trekkie, Star Warsy. I don't know what a Bond fan would be called in the business. I haven't watched all the movies. I've watched some of the movies, but I've watched all of the actors pretend to be James Bond. My favorite is still Sean Connery. I liked Sean Connery. He was my favorite. Roger Moore, a close second, but the worst, without a doubt, Timothy Dalton. The worst James Bond. There's that. 1983, Sean Connery returns to play James Bond. 1956, Don Larson, of a particular baseball team that some people seem to enjoy, of the New York Yankees, pitches a perfect game during the World Series. It's the only game in history. It's the only perfect game in history in the World Series. 1975, Soviet nuclear bomb scientist Andrei Sakharov wins the Nobel Peace Prize for being a vocal advocate of human rights and anti-arms race stance. Wow. Good for you. He's a nuclear bomb scientist, so this is the guy that makes nuclear bombs talking smack about his job. Here's $1 million and a Nobel Peace Prize. A Nobel Peace Prize was given out this week. I think it was two Iraqi women or maybe two Iranian women. Hello, second viewer. Thanks for joining me live. You've missed a lot so far, and it's almost over, but that's okay. 1935, considered the first great American opera. This should be like a trivia question for you. When you think of great American operas, what comes to mind? Porgy and Bess premieres this day, 1935. That is your week in history. That's becoming a segment on these Saturday Fun Days where we talk about what's going on in the world. I give you two news stories. I give you the week in history, and then I respond to your comments, of which I have one now. Agreed on the Bond question. Well, thank you so much. He was the best. That is not showing in the chat window. Allow me to experiment while we are here. So I'm going to go to a different screen. And I'm here, and I've got a window capture that is there. A little inside baseball. That's what we got going on there. All right, that's what we have. And, oh, look, I almost got something happening here. Oh, that's right. You can't see it until I move it over. Oh, right. Righty-o, yes. Ba-da-ba-da-bum. Can you name that game show that I'm tuning there? Look at that. Look at that. I did it. I'm so proud of me. I'm so proud of me. I did it. And I lost my pen in the process. It's okay. I don't have to. That looks pretty good, right? I could probably shift it a little. Just a tad. Make it a little smaller. No comments on my John Kennedy. I'm surprised there. All right, there we go. Just shifting it just a little bit. So there, we can now see your comments as they arrived. Don't forget that I am on a delay, which is strange that I'm the one that's on the delay. You should be on the delay. I'm not on delay. You're on delay. On delay. I am sober. This is not alcohol induced. Here we go with your national days o' the week. They have taken time to write these into a law, a charter, a proclamation, and these are things that actually exist. Starting with National Fried Scallops Day occurs this week, the first week in October. National Consignment Day. National, and I couldn't believe it either, Produce Misting Day. Produce Misting Day. National Boyfriend Day. Go get yourself one if you ain't got one. Or make it me. I'll be your boyfriend on National Boyfriend Day. But I'm not going to do any boyfriend stuff. I'm just going to be me. And then you could give me stuff because you could call me your boyfriend. I don't care. You could, whatever sex you are. You want to call me your boyfriend for National Boyfriend Day? As long as you're giving me stuff and not expecting anything in return, I'm in. How about this stupid one? National Fruit at Work Day. Ooh, fruit at work. Banana. National Taco Day was on the 4th, and they were giving away free tacos. I don't like when they say they're giving away free tacos because they're never giving away free tacos. They're always making you buy something and rewarding you with a taco. We had tacos here at the house. It was a very nice surprise. Finishing it up with a couple here. National Get Funky Day. Get funky with your bad self. I don't know how you're supposed to celebrate National Get Funky Day. And finishing your National Things Days, there is, in this period of time, National Do Something Nice Day. Ladies and gentlemen, I protest. I don't believe that should be a day. I believe that should be every day. Every day you should be trying to do something nice for someone, whether it's someone you know or someone you don't know. Be nice to strangers. Go somewhere. Over tip. That's the biggest, man. That's the biggest thing. I think, me personally, that's how I contribute to society. I over tip a lot, because I know that money means more to the people who are getting the tip than it does to me. I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I don't have to be that concerned about, do I tip them 15% or 16%? If you touch my food, if you're touching my food, you're getting a 20. Bottom line, I don't care what it is. You're getting 20. If you hand me a drink, you're getting 5. Even if the drink is free, you can't get 15% off a free drink. So imagine I'm sitting there, I'm minding my business. Pretty young lady walks over to me, says, "Would you like something to drink?" I say, "Yes, I would." I order a Yingling. It's a very fine beer. And then I give her a $5 bill. And she asks me, "Would you like change?" And I say, "No, thank you." And the corners of her mouth raise ever so slightly. And there's a sparkle in her eye because most people don't tip $5. Over tip. It's a good thing. Do something nice to everybody every day. Be nice. Just freaking be nice. How hard is that? That is this week. Thank you to my one and only commentator. It's been fun having you watch. We occasionally do live tapings of the Lunsby Show. We wanted to do one earlier this year. We did not. But the holidays are coming around the corner, so it is possible we may tape a live version of the Lunsby Show. But we'll give plenty of time. We'll give plenty of warning so that we have an active audience. And that's about it for this week. I'm going to go back over to the whole thingamabobadoo there, the old thingamabobadoo, and I'm going to start rolling